a 2, and a 1. Live.
Hello, Internet Land.
Hello, world.
Are you going to make a comment? And
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Oh.
And there it is.
Got my notification. Game Dragon is live. So greetings, Internet Land and viewers. Tonight is a very special Taco Tuesday night.
Skull.
Come try ya. Hi, Phoenix. So we celebrate today. The shirt has come in.
I have.
Hi, Vinny Warmud.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Commodore. So yes, we got the first of the 2 shorts that we did order from Teespring came in.
It's so awesome. Okay, so first warning to anybody: if you order shirts from Teespring, order them 1 size large.
Hi, Mike.
I ordered them 1 size larger.
Yeah.
I fit a 2X. This is a 3X. It just fits. So I know I've put on a little weight since we've been in the lockdown, but it's tight.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
I put a little weight on too, but I found something I can use to help me tone up and get sexy. So figure 8. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay then. So
the second thing that makes tonight so damn awesome is tonight is the 500 subscription drawing.
Both of them.
Zane? Really? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Not a problem, Mike. I take it you've been working pretty hard.
So, yeah.
So, shall we go ahead and get this?
We'll get to it when we get to it.
Dave says, "Good luck, losers."
Because he's already won. He actually put in, I already won at the 400. Don't put me in for either. Just congratulations. Since he won for the 400.
Thank you, Dave.
I appreciate you. All right. So I was going to go through the meeting normally.
Go for it.
What's on the bench? Let's talk about it. What's on the bench?
Why don't you go ahead and go first, because I think I have more than you do for once.
No, I got a ton of crap on the bench. I got new skin. I had to replace the printer bed sheet. So I just replaced that today. Printer was down for a day. They're considered a consumable. So do I get something?
Zane,
yes,
did you
Zane.
enter?
Yes, Zane, you did.
Yay.
No, he didn't.
Hey, Mini-Oclops.
He didn't.
Zane, why didn't you enter into the subscription?
I'm putting him in because he's an idiot.
Okay, he probably meant to.
Zane.
Just whatever. Feet. Put feet. All right, give me that so I can add it to the thing.
Mini-Apocalypse. All right, hey, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Hey.
You didn't. No.
No, you never did, buddy.
So.
I got you already because I know you would have.
Yeah.
All right, put it in there.
So that's for later in the show.
You know, I guess we're gonna do it now because oh my God.
Ben! I was just thinking about you and Tina today. Man, I miss you guys so much.
You watched the video, but you didn't comment.
Yeah, I think you probably meant to comment and got distracted, my friend. Hi, Ben. Today we are doing the 500 subscription drawing.
We're doing both of them.
Yes.
So we have 2 drawings. The first off, we have. I know, Ben.
Yeah, just put them in, and they can fight over whatever. I like how you're.
That's possible.
Man, Commodore's on top of this. Okay, I gotta go get our phone.
Because I'm betting
ringing off
Will.
work, and I
All right. So we're going to hold off drawing until Lady D is back. So in the meantime, what do we got? Man, the 3D printer has been a rockin', and I have been a building. Hello, Tina. I've been a rockin', and I've been a painting. I'm finally getting some of my backlog because I had to take a break from orcs because I love orcs. But I realized that I've built 2,500 points of them, and I got to get them painted. But I've got built right now 2,500 points of orcs. Yeah, no, we got an illegal Mars. It's rocking. It's wonderful. I've been printing bits and bits and bits and bits with it. And a couple count stats for figures that are hard to get or made of metal that I don't want to use metal, and I don't want fail casts. So, did you? All right, cool. Hey, Minnie, are you going to be doing part of that? Are you going to be doing part of that? That what do you call it? There was a collaboration video that we were talking about. Are you gonna be part of that? Printing out that halfling bard? Because I'm really looking forward to that one. Actually, that's the next
He's
thing.
Been talking about it pretty steadily.
That's actually the next thing up on the tray to get printed, and we're gonna do 2 of them. Just like I said.
Nope.
It's just not mixed. So, but I'm getting into some of my backlog. So I was doing some building, and so I am building the White Dwarf, Grimmendal, the Techno Priest.
Yes.
I've got his base built up. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm digging it. I mean, I'm even building. I wanted to build some Def Copters, but the Def Copters you can get right now are metal. They're terrible. So I've got a Count Saz that I'm gonna be using, a little grot bomber. It's just so it'll be hilarious.
And there's a little grot in there going.
So I'm gonna be using that for my Def Copters. Is the printer messy or smelly?
Messy, not
really.
At all.
As long as
it's not too bad as long as you're not standing behind it.
As long as you've got a well ventilated area we're using it, it's fine. It's really, really not stinky at all.
Yeah, no, we're very well ventilated.
I'll be honest with you. It's been running
nonstop.
It's been running nonstop, except for the 2 times I had to take it down. Once because I had to replace the screen on the bottom, and once because I actually ran out of resin. But other than that, it's been running nonstop for almost 3 weeks now, and it really.
And if you don't have a well-ventilated area, that's okay too. You just start talking like you're brain dead. You start talking like an orc.
Yeah.
This one only uses resin.
Yeah, no, mine is specifically a resin. It's a liquid resin printer. So
Zane, we'll take a look at that. I'll have Dee take a look at that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Just breathe it in and get a buzz.
Yeah, it's really not that strong. I mean, I've actually tried to.
I'll take this.
I honestly took the bottle of resin, I opened up the bottle and did this just to see how stinky it was straight out of there. And it's not. It's really, really not that stinky.
Says the dude who used to do drugs on a heavy basis.
I'm saying it's really not that strong a smell. I'm not saying there's no scent to it. There is a small scent to it, and it blows out the back of the machine. If you've got a vent and you really want to vent it out, it's easily, but it's not an overwhelming. It's not a strong smell. In a well ventilated area, it's really not.
Yeah. So we haven't noticed too many problems with it.
Yeah.
I need to get you monies. They want the kitty pirate captain and the rest of the list I made.
Well, I found sexy orcs, and I'm gonna be printing them out because she's gorgeous.
So for that whole thing, just to give you a little bit, in our Discord, there was a small discussion about why are there no lady orc proxies, and Mythos actually from Boston Fist was like, I want to see some thick orc girls. I mean, like Garona from Warcraft was sexy.
And then somebody threw up a link, says, "Well, there's one set,"
and we went.
I went and bought it. I just went, "All right, here you go. It's mine now. I bought it."
That set is brought to you by the Artisans Guild, and every month when they do a faction, they include a cheesecake figure.
Squig boss, bad nuts.
Boss.
Yeah, no, seriously, if you are a 3D printer,
You'll see it, Mike. He's got he's got the pinup one
as
from
soon
printing.
as it's done printing, I'll be showing that thing off on Instagram. It's gorgeous.
She looks so cool.
Okay, and here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys, straight up. If you are a 3D printer and you have a 3D printer, it's pretty funny actually, Zane. Boob screens will make them look like females.
Not untrue.
Yeah, in all seriousness, if you're a 3D printer and you can afford $10 a month,
do it.
Join the Artisans Guild Patreon. You get a full set of 7, 8, 9 models every month, and they're great models. They're adjustable, reconfigurable, segmented, so you can make like full units out of them for whatever you want to use. They're beautiful figures to begin with.
Yes.
And then every 3 months that you're a patron, they have a quarterly thing where they release a big epic boss monster, and it's so worth it.
Yeah, we get this quarters. It's a manticore.
It's a Asian themed manticore. It's just gorgeous. We'll be getting it next month because you have to be a consistent patron. But I mean, the stuff they produce is so worth it. I actually went back and bought their works. This month's was actually Oni. And again, they're just beautiful.
Man, I can't wait to make that pinup.
I'm actually looking at using the Oni as proxies for my Ogre Warcry team.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they're gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right. So let's
do what's on the bench.
What's on the bench? So
okay, are we gonna just do this?
We're just gonna do it because
of the damn thing.
There you go.
See that?
All right. So for our subscriber giveaway, now this is the thing. The subscriber giveaway is everybody who commented, and pretty much everybody who commented, even if they didn't follow the rules, except for they said don't put me in. They're in here.
Yes.
So there's a thing in here. There will be a couple things. It's a small package for you guys. And this is just a thank you from us to you to getting us to 500. All right. And so,
drum roll, please. I can't do a drum roll, so I'm going to whatever. Okay, Morky.
All right. So oh my God. Unbelievable.
The winner is IDIC Beer.
Nick from IDIC Beer
won the 500
subscribers
giveaway.
This is ridiculous. He and I are going to keep going back and forth, giving each other stuff. This is the third thing between us now?
I think so,
third or fourth. This is
something like
that. My God, Nick, I will be in contact with you. Oh my God.
I almost feel like we should throw it away for somebody else.
Oh man. All right.
All right.
So that's the subscriber one, and if Nick, and I will tell you, if Nick decides to pass on it or whatnot, I'll pull another one out. But I gotta add him on Facebook. Go, hey Nick, I need the contact information. I gotta send you something.
All right, so here we go. This is the Pay It Forward box.
Now, before I pull this, I want to talk about this one a little bit again. There weren't that many people that put in for this. So here's the thing: the Pay It Forward box. Pay It Forward box started with the TMP.
Yeah.
It says his idea to pull the community together. So he created this box. It's just a box of crafting stuff and painting stuff and hobby stuff and whatnot. And it's based on your channel and on what you think is important to the hobby and what you're sending to the channel you're sending it to. So I've got a bunch of stuff I got in there. I got a few other things I still want to put in there. And I'm doing some custom stuff based on who the channel is and what channel's about. So
which will happen once we know.
Which will happen when we know who the subscriber is. Or who the channel is. So that's the one thing. The second thing is when the person gets the box, they have to do a video opening the box and going over it, because each of the pieces will have a little note and a little message about what it's about, and just something, how they all relate to the channel that sent it to them. And there's a card that goes through that everybody signs and puts little, howdies to the next person down the line. And then they have to set up a video, and they have to set up a subscriber milestone and that they're going to send this box full of stuff onto the next channel to help move the channel. It'll help get the channel going. So this is all about helping channels grow. I got with the IDIC beer community. I was about 225, 250. That was about a year ago now.
Yep.
And in a year, I've doubled. I'm up to 500 subscribers. And I think a lot of it's due to that box and the people I've had to deal with and the people I've gotten to hang out with and all that. So it's a real boon for the channel. So it's really great. I'm hoping that one of the smaller channels actually gets it because I think it's a real boost to what it can do for them. And I think it brings the community into itself. So I think it's a great idea. So I'm all about it. Again, Rob, TMP, thank you so much for starting this thing. I am glad to be part of this legacy. So,
with that in note, I have already pulled a name.
All right.
D, if you will do the honors.
So, the channel that we'll be getting is the CM. It stands for Captain Morgan. So, Captain Morgan War Games, CM War Games. I was just watching them earlier this week. They do
those battle reports.
Yeah, they do a battle. They're a battle report channel. They're a smaller battle report channel. They do a lot of different armies. So,
congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations! I will get you involved with this. I'll reach out to you later today. Reach out to you via the board, and we'll get your information, and we'll get that box sent off to you. That's awesome. I'm glad to see it. Now, that being said, if for whatever reason either channel or either person does not want things sent to them or wants it sent on to somebody else, I'll do another drawing. I'll keep everything in the boxes.
I've got them sitting right next to me.
And we'll do another drawing next week. Or if everything worked out well, I'll give an update next week to make sure. Well, yeah, they're both UK channels. That's kind of fun. I mean, both Nick and Captain Morgan are both UK channels.
That's funny.
It's just shipping. I'm not going to try and send anything liquid. So I'm just going to note, hey, it's plastic and toys, and it should be just fine. And I'm not going to send it fancy mail. Are you crazy? I'm going to send it, standard rate. So it'll be, it'll probably be like $20 shipping, but whatever.
Something about that.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not worried about that. That's not what this is about. This is about paying it forward, and this is about thanking you, my viewers.
I still think it's funny that it's Nick from IDIC.
Freaking Nick! Oh my God, he was just saying, "I guess I can subscribe. I guess I can put in again. Let me put in there." Like a freaking.
I would have laughed harder if it was TMP.
That would have been hilarious.
Can't go back on it. Let's see. I thought you said there was a chance to win beer. We did actually say something about that, but that was if it was a U.S.
If it was a U.S. person, there would have been beer involved. There definitely would have been beer involved.
We would have been sending over a little Wisconsinite care package.
Yes, but they're in the UK. It's not legal to ship that overseas. I'm not going to be illegal.
That and, frankly, what we call beer here, they call soft drink.
No, I'd send them good beer.
Oh, okay.
I'd send them good beer. All right, so that's the two drawings. Woo! Yay! Little sprinkles of speds and sprinkles in the sky. All right.
Are you done with your what's on the bench?
Oh, yeah, what's on the bench? Orcs. Oh my God, orcs are on the bench. Yeah, I did the math today and realized when I started my orcs in April, I have 2,500 points of orcs. I have a problem. I have
an addiction.
A brigade, and then some. I have a problem. I love orcs. They're great. They're my new army, and I love them. And I love them because they have shit like this. Guys with flamethrowers just running around and hitting people with their flamethrowers. They hit them with the flamethrowers.
Personally, I think it was funnier with the guy that was running around with the stogie hanging out of his mouth.
That's an... You mean the guy with the flamethrower?
Mm-hmm. That's a great start for orcs, Mike says.
Yeah, that's a great start. Yeah, I agree. Let me tell you, 3D printing has helped. It's let me use up lots of my bits. Printing extra legs lets me
printing out more. More he's printed, like he'll have like a bunch of torsos, so he prints out legs, so he can use the torso.
I'm using all my arms. Basically, I have tons of arms and heads, so I'm putting on extra. I'm putting on extra legs. I have a box of Ludas I'm going to be popping open, and I'm going to be able to do all the Ludas and all the Burners in there. Woot. So, next stop is a box of boys. Eventually. Because I need more boys, oddly enough. Because you can never have enough boys. You can never have enough boys.
Until your boys adapt to the planet. And
girls.
And then the Marines look at the female orcs going,
GRRLZ, girls.
And some poor Marine's going, please tell me somebody else is seeing this and it's not my visor fucking up.
Why is that orc making me feel wrong feelings?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, Mike, that is the number one joy of a 3D printer. I print some extra legs and some extra torsos. All them arms and heads are getting used. I'm needing a couple extra bits to go on a vehicle. I print some extra bits. I take other bits and I'm putting them on vehicles. It's DBA is the smallest armies to put together. Only 12 stands. DBA.
DBA. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what DBA is. Cinna Dave.
So, well, you explain that, and I am suffering slightly from drinking down my drink a little too fast. It's already empty.
Wow. Well, almost empty.
Yeah.
What do you got on the bench?
So, what I have on the bench is, well, we did some numbers. It's the endless bliss. That's what.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm doing the same. Okay, Mike. Okay, hang on, Mike. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know anything about 3D printing, and I've been printing like nonstop.
They want to do this.
I wouldn't make it pink though. It has to be blue because they're stealing all the dollars. They're stealing all the Chinese. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't really know much about 3D printing. Really, I don't. I watched a bunch of videos. I watched some tutorials from Elegoo, and I followed their instructions. This is what I got. Yeah, it needed some putty to fix it up, and I'm going to do some more detailing on it. But this came out. I have a number of orcs that you really can't. Antiquetes. I don't know what those are, dude. Is that Games Workshop? Unfortunately, I don't know enough about other game systems.
Hit button, critical.
Pretty much. You go, all right, let me put the picture on the thing, and yeah,
now
one of the big things I'm actually printing out later on is I'm printing out a bunch of D&D figures for my D&D campaign.
Secrets to the
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm printing out a bunch of printing out a bunch of D&D stuff for my D&D campaign. I'm printing out some extra bits for my orcs. I'm printing out some extra bits for my wolves. I did some stuff for my wolves so I could dress up a rhino with like some wolf symbolry on it. So yeah, some nice stuff there. It's basically a matter of going and looking for what you want, and then just kind of
hours looking for
you can get it. You can fall into rabbit holes down there. You can fall into rabbit holes because there are some really great sculptors out there that'll make some really great stuff. And one of them is my patron. One of my patrons, Heinrich Botha. The man has created stuff for 3D printing, stuff he's given away. He also has his own stuff on either My Mini Factory or 3D Cults or Cult 3D. I'm actually going to be purchasing some of his stuff because he has a really great Catan counts as that is absolutely gorgeous.
A female Catan shard.
Yeah, female
Oh,
Catan shard.
so
It's just gorgeous. And that's the thing. The stuff I'm going to print is not stuff because I'm not a competitive player. I'm not a competitive player. I'm not a guy that's going to go and trying to go to a nationals or anything like that. I want to play with my friends. And sometimes I want to try out a model before I buy it. Sometimes I want to try out something that looks like a model before I buy it. Sometimes I just want to do something fun and weird. So I'll print stuff and count it as. You know, and that's the thing. I'm here. Well, then do something about it, Kami. It's all your fault. The stream feels all choppy. I don't know what to tell you.
sorry, I'm not the tech person.
I don't know what to tell you. My stream is solid here. Don't you start with me.
So, can I get back to what's on the bench for me, or do you have more you need to say?
What does your ITC let you play for printed models? Okay, ITC rules, specifically ITC rules, says a model must be 50% 50% GW bits. Yeah.
Or more.
50% bits or more to be in a model. Okay. Like I said, I don't play competitively. So I don't care. I play with friends. I don't play competitively. I play with the people I like, and I play with the people I hang out with. And the people I play with is like, does that look cool? All right, let's play with it. You know,
Yeah, rule of cool is kind
rule
of
of cool kind of wins, and that's kind of the beauty with orcs. Because I mean, one of the big things about orcs is that they're all about the rule of cool. When was that set? A while ago. Like I think that was in the ITC rule book, like the ITC rules, like a couple of years ago, dude. And again, I don't play competitively, so I don't know that for certain that that's the rule anymore. But that was the last I'd heard. Again, I play with friends, so you know, if I put down the effort to, and I'm going to tell this to my friends too, if you put down the effort. You know, people bringing printed stuff. You know, that's the thing. It's all about what your local game shop is going to say is cool or not cool. I'm going to tell you right now that you need to support your local game store because brick and mortar stores are what keep this game alive. So there's that. I'm going to tell you right now, me having a 3D printer means I'm going to be buying models. I'm just going to be able to use more of the bits. I'm going to be going through my bits box at a far faster rate.
Yes, we have an entire box that is color coded, designed by bits.
I mean, it's a gigantic box, and I've already eaten through like a third of my orc bits, just making extra guys, using the other arms and heads and that I had. And, it also. Because the orcs, 6 Plus Stevo had a video today where he talked about the fact that, like, if you're playing orcs, there are no options. There are no options for warlords. Ben, me too. Oh my God, dude! I want to sit down and play so bad with the gang. I mean, I want to get a real game going. I mean. We've been talking, we'll get a game going, we'll get a game going, we'll get a game going. We never do. And we get other things going on. We get talking, we get listening to music, we get painting.
He's got this crap sitting on the area where we do the gaming.
And
we are not allowed to mess with the table.
We can.
And then he sits on this thing for hours. Honey, it's 2:30 in the morning. Are you coming to bed? Yeah, I'll be right there. I'm just finishing up. Honey, it's almost 4. Yeah, I'm coming to bed.
So you're saying I shouldn't have the printer? Fine, give me back the bust.
No,
you didn't. No.
I licked it already. It's mine.
Do not disparage the printer.
No, I'm just don't be on this. Oh well, we keep saying we're gonna run a game, but we never do.
No, we never do. No, I mean that's the whole thing.
Because your ass is always doing something else.
Or you're sleeping in all damn day. you gonna be grumpy now?
No. Thank you.
Uh, yeah. Uh, the guy was playing with the lime green Custodes. Yeah, I remember that. He came with the tanks. That was like last fall. And the reason they allowed it is that he asked everyone beforehand if he could do it. He literally asked everyone before, are you guys cool with this? I want to test out a build, and if it doesn't work, I don't want to buy these freaking $250 model tanks. So there was a lot more to that story than got talked about. It was all over Reddit, and somebody was actually talking about it who was there and knew the guy and was involved. So it was more than just what it came off as from the pictures. No, what it was is the local store approved it, and that's the thing. It was it wasn't an official ITC game. It was an ITC prep. There was a lot of guys that were going to be going to a big ITC quarterly, and so this was the last big tournament. It was the last big tournament before that big quarterly or regional tournament, what it was, and so a lot of guys were play testing new armies, and he wasn't going to have time to get his models set up, and he only had one of them at that point in, and he just was like, I'm just going to use these. I printed them out real quick. I'm going to try them, see how they work, and if they work okay, then I'm going to finish getting them done. There was a lot more than that than. And again, thank you, Spiky Bits, because they misrepresented the hell out of what was going on there. And they were the point on all the outrage of where that all came from. So, because they misreported the crap out of the whole situation. So, like I said, he actually cleared it not only with the judges, because it was a friendly tournament. He literally talked to everybody else involved in the tournament. He's like, hey, I want to try out a couple models, but I'm not going to spend, $250 a pop for 3 of these Forge Ruled models if they're not going to work for my list. So I'm going to try them out here, and if they work, then I'm going to be getting them for real. And everyone there beforehand was like, that's cool, no problem. So the thing is that, there's actually a lot of, you hear a lot of back and forth on the whole 3D printing thing, and it comes about from the fact that it's becoming so accessible. I mean, there's models of a Mars pattern warlord out there that you can print. There is patterns for virtually all of the knights in both the Imperial and Chaos side that you can find people have done pretty accurate representations of. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, if you 3D printed the model and it looks like the real thing, and then you went to the effort to paint it up and look it nice, why does it matter where you bought it from for the purposes of the tournament, for the purpose of the game? Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I agree, Mike. I mean, the problem is that I love Games Workshop. Don't get me wrong. I love their stuff. But perfect example is their boys. If you're playing an Orcs army, you need like 30, 40, 50 boys. There's 10 in the box. And those 10 in the box, there's not that much difference. I mean, the bodies aren't really that different from each other. The legs are almost all identical. So the only difference is really the heads. So you're basically creating a repetitive looking army. And for any painter, that can be a bit daunting to just paint the same figure over and over and over. And the problem is they keep simplifying the rules in such a way that having hordes of cheap figures are a viable strategy for some armies. I'm looking at my poor wife here, and she has a perfect example. She's right now painting chain rasps. They come in 20-man blobs, and for a typical Night Hunt army, you need 3 of those. So 60 of the same 10 figures.
20.
Well, but yeah, but 2 of the sets of 10 are identical, it looked like. So it's 2 sets of 10. So you're literally and that's the problem is that, well, what if you want to go into another army? I mean, I like my Marines, but I want to play these Marines. Are you going to go buy another set of Marines? You're going to strip your old Marines? Don't get me wrong. I love the game. You have to buy stuff to keep with the game and keep going on with it, and that's all true. And the books are just as important. But if GW isn't going to give more... Maul, I'm with you on that one, Hellchild. If they're not going to give us more sculpts, I think another perfect example... Are you mad at me or not?
You're talking.
I think another perfect example is you look at like Imperial Guard. I mean, you talk about a uniform, absolutely uniform looking army, and yet you got to paint. If you want a typical brigade, you're talking about 60 to 70 regular Imperial Guardsmen. It's the same figure over and over. They don't look any different. They don't look any different than each other. And yeah, if you go back to classic wargaming, that was a thing, where you would paint, 30 regiments of all these guys that were exact same model over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But they want to treat the painting portion of it as the art and the expression, and they talk about the poses and the dynamic of the model, and that's all important. But okay, it's dynamic and important, but you can only paint the same 10 bodies in so many different ways. So being able to get some third-party heads or some third-party torsos or some slightly different poses from third-party designers or 3D print your own to try and go, well, you can't use them. Well, why not? If you look at that figure, do you know what it is? It's an orc with a gun. It's an orc with a shoot and a choppa. What's the difference? Why does it matter who the manufacturer is? Exactly. So, and that's, I think, one of the big reasons why I'll never get into the competitive scene. Because I'm out there to have fun. I think one of the best armies I saw was a kit bashed army, even though it was kit bashed from GW Parts, but Tina Raven has a set of Grey Knights with all girl heads. It's gorgeous. They're beautiful. I love them. Raging Heroes are my wife's pretty much her favorite line of figures. I'm finally got some ordered for her, and she's all excited about it. But
sorry, I like me a little bit of cheesecake in my stuff.
Yeah.
Make it sexy. If I gotta paint it, I want to paint something sexy.
Right. And that's the bigger thing. The world at large is not just Games Workshop. So, and I can understand why for official tournaments, but the funny thing is they're not even official tournaments. That's the funniest thing. ITC is not run by Games Workshop. They're not even. Which one did we get for you? No, we got the Lust Elves for her.
Yeah, we ended up getting the Lust Elves because they were on sale. I want the Furians. Don't get me wrong. I want those girls so bad. But the elves were on sale, and I managed to get some stand-ins for the Daughters of Cain witch elves, so which are being converted to followers of Cain.
Yeah. Corn.
Or corn, thank you. Cain, corn. What's the damn difference? A heretical god is a heretical god is a heretical god.
So, there's that. And there's some great model providers out there. But that's the whole thing. It's like there's not, for some things, there's not even options. Like I said, Steve, I was saying this earlier. 6+ Stevo had an entire thing where he's talking about war bosses, where right now for GW there is a metal war boss that they have, and then there's the one war boss that you can only get if you buy the box with the knobs and the war boss in it. Those are the only war boss models there are. But there's so many options for war bosses, but you can't get to any of them. So that's a problem. So why don't they have a war boss kit? Or why doesn't GW do what companies like Spellcrow and Cromlech do and sell bits boxes? Hi, here's 5 sets of legs. Here's 5 different heads. Here's a set of these type of weapons. Yeah, Victoria Miniatures. I love their guard. I actually have a box of their heads. I love Victoria Miniatures. Spellcrow actually has a really cool set of guardsmen that I also really enjoy. But it's gotten to the point where, if you've been in this hobby longer than a couple months, your immediate thoughts are, let's start kit bashing stuff. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, I think that's kind of daunting for newer players. I mean, it's interesting to think about. If you're like a 15-year-old kid or a 14-year-old kid who never played before, and you want to play something other than Space Marines, I want to build Chaos Marines. Well, I want to build a Warlord with this ability and this and that, and then you got to try and figure out where to get all those pieces from. And that's the thing. Yeah, at this point, it's like kit bashing. That's all a 3D printer is. A 3D printer is a giant, unending bits box that lets you print the exact bits you need. I need this bit. Here you go. You got your bit. It also lets you, when you have awesome artists in your life, draw things up, and then awesome people like Heinrich Botha or other people out on the internet will take those awesome drawings and turn them into awesome models, which you can then print and stick on your models to make your models awesome. So, what are you doing?
Painting. You're talking, so I'm painting.
I know. Well, I'm wanting to get your input here.
It's a 3D model machine that gives me cheesecake.
Therefore, you approve.
Well, as soon as I get something that's cheesecake, yes, I will. Up until now, I have not received any cheesecake.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so I think we've belabored this point. Let's move on to news. What's new in the world of Warhammer? So what news do we have for this week?
Heard something about a king coming back.
Yes, all you Necron players get hype in that the Silent King has been not announced, but announced for the 23rd, Saturday 23rd, return. Does Cheesecake Factory deliver? I don't know, but I'll bet you.
Yes, Cheesecake Factory does deliver. He just won't buy it because he says it's too expensive.
Come up with me.
No.
Oh, the Silent King. If I was a Necron player, I'd be so hyped right now, considering the lack of love they've gotten. Um, I don't know. Plague Child has been away from the house in a nice quarantine, but in a safe house away from here for like 2 days.
No, they left yesterday.
Today, yesterday, it's 2 days.
They'll be back in the next
2
hour.
days. They'll be back. They were supposed to be back an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, something about them doing Anna's hair.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually hyped. Now here's the thing. Let's quick talk about that date. The 23rd, the Saturday 23rd, they say return. Now, couple things about that. Couple things about that. Now, could this be a book? Who knows? I know Pariah, it's very interesting how the Psychic Awakening has gone down the path and is ending with the Necrons. And now they're talking to Silent King and the return of the king on the 23rd. Now, here's the thing. I want to rewind some thoughts a moment. Chapter Master Valorek, back in December or January, if he says that he got a source, he got a source. And he got a source. And that source was able to list dates on about a dozen to 15 releases and name the date that they came out. He was the one calling the Orc and Wolf box back in January. He was the one that called that who was getting a couple of the releases that were coming. He's been dead on accurate on a lot of the release because he saw literally a production release and shipping schedule. One of the things that was talked about is it looks like there is a big box set, like a big box set coming out this summer that's going to be Necrons and Marines. And because of the size and the stature of the box, it is at this point supposed that it is going to be the equivalent of a new starter box. It is suggested that it's potentially the 8.5 starter box or the 9.0 starter box. It's not going to be a real changeover of the rules, but it's going to be okay, we've got 3 chapter approved, 3 big FAQs, 3 smaller FAQs, and 5 years of errata that we're going to finally roll up into a singular book, new book, and release this new box set with it. That is complete supposition at this point, but with everything else that has come to pass, that really sounds like it really sounds like that's what we're gonna see. And I'm thinking this return is the announcement of a big refresh and or push and new models for the Necrons, and it's the new story arc, much like it was the whole Chaos storyline with the Death Guard at the end of 7th and the beginning of 8th. You're going to see the same thing with the Necrons now. So, yay Marines, yay Necrons. At least it's a Xenos of some form getting some love. They've shown one of the new figures for the Necrons. It looks fabulous. I'm guessing if the Silent King is coming back, they're going to have a new faction within the Necrons and a bunch of new models. We've been seeing the pictures of the new Marine stuff, the speeder bike, the bikes that they've been only the little tiny thumbnail picture that they've been trying to sort through. So there's a lot of stuff on the rise. I'm thinking once the full lockdown comes down and they go into full production, the hype machine's going to explode. And they're just going to be rolling out because, I mean, they got to get Engine War out. They got to get Pariah out. I think that's the other one that they're missing. They still got to get Engine War out. They got to get Pariah out. Engine War has gotten so little talk, but the Adeptus Mechanicus are getting so much new stuff. They're getting their flyers. They're getting their assault troops. They're getting their dog horse flame face cavalry things. So, I mean, Mechanus is getting a lot of love. I'm thinking the Necrons are going to get a lot of love. I think the next 3 months are going to be busy time for GW. I think for us with hobby money, it's going to be a lot of, do I have to get it right now or can I wait? And, so we'll see. I'm kind of lucky I don't play any of those factions. Kind of thankful I don't play any of those factions. All right, so we are almost an hour into our broadcast. We covered our news. We covered the what's on the bench. So what do you guys? What's going on with you guys out in Hobbyland? What are you thinking? I know we talked already a lot about 3D printing. Now that I have one, it really is a game changer. I got to tell you, it really is a game changer. There's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of stuff I've thought about that I hadn't thought about before. Heck, just being able to print terrain is the ability to print certain pieces of terrain or to print bits to glue onto terrain is kind of a big deal. Just in time for a possible second round of a stimulus check. Yeah. That's another potentiality on the rise. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the government doesn't like us getting money. They like taking. Scions are interesting. I really like the Scions. I like them more now that I've really gone through and reading the Greater Good box. I mean, the Greater Good book. There's a lot of good stuff with that. I mean, I'm still super happy with my Cadians and the whole tank ace thing. I was working out the points last night and how to do a 2,000 point Imperial Guard army, and I realized I'm only a couple models short from what I actually have. So I basically got to get one armored walker and a couple of hellhounds, and I'm pretty much good to go. I've got everything else. What are you guys working on? I mean, she has been a machine, just painting like crazy lately. I'm really, and I'm loving the effects she's getting. Here.
I can't see. Animal Crossing, Ben.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. He's constantly got stuff about it on Facebook.
Yeah, I heard him calling Jason out a couple of times.
You got all that time, Ben. You got all that terrain that I know you've got from your Kill Team box. Why isn't it built and painted? What are you doing? Um, what's next? What are you gonna be working on next? Just keep ranking on these on your.
Well, these 10 are down, then I only have 13, 15, 19 left of my night haunt to do. And then the rest is all ornate.
I kind of get you there, Ben. Redbeard Boss, my man. I think a surprise Warhound is a decent gift. It's a great gift. You should send me one. Um, I'm just kidding there. What's up, my man, Redbeard? Hey, good to see you, man. Oh, she's grabbing something.
No, I needed to see what colors the rings were.
You're being grumpy.
Yes, I am.
I'm not letting you be grumpy.
I'm grumpy at you because you've steamrolled over me 3 times already in this thing. That's why I
That's
stopped talking.
That's why I'm like trying to get you back on here because I realized I did that. So I'm trying to get your weapons on.
Let's go back one.
What?
The dragon and the lady. I've been drinking.
We both have.
Yeah, mine's already gone.
Yeah, this is my second one.
When did you have the first one?
When I finish off the bottle of Bailey's while I was cooking.
Flush.
You want to get some MDF for your kill team terrain. I'm gonna tell you, Cinna Dave, go out to eBay and TTS. TTS has there's a couple of sellers on eBay that I found that they must have gotten like a huge shipment of stuff from TTS and they're unloading it super cheap right now. I know this because I actually bought a couple pieces because I like MDF terrain. And as much as I like building my own terrain, sometimes some MDF stuff is really nice to supplement with. So check that out. I would also look at Frontline Gaming. Oh gosh, I wouldn't even just look at Frontline Gaming. I would look at Frontline Gaming, and I would look at Urban Mats. Urban Mats. Oh, you want to base your plastic on MDF? Gotcha. Hey, not a smart thing to do. It's actually a good way to go about it. I'm actually almost done with the tutorial on video where I did a bunch of that. Don't say anything bad. Yes, just be good, Zane. Be a good boy. Anyhow, yeah, I had a cutoff of a huge piece of MDF, and I used it to cut a bunch of wedges to do a bunch of sprue terrain that I have been working on forever. And that's what I'm talking about with Ben. Sometimes hobby motivation is tough. I've been working on this stupid terrain video for almost a month now, and I cannot seem to pull it together. And it's not that I don't love the terrain. I mean, it looks gorgeous, but I'm just having a hard time focusing on it. I have so many irons in the fire. Between trying to get another job and trying to keep up things around the house, and then the printer, and then the models, and the painting, and trying to spend time with my lovely wife. Who's giving me the silent treatment tonight? Oh, dude, I've been working on this stupid sprue terrain for like a month and a half. I'm doing a bunch of orc junkyard terrain. Um,
Sneak peek.
I'm working on my orcish junkyard terrain, and I've got it mostly done. I mean, it's all built and it's all primed, and I've got like an entire table's worth of it. But yeah, I based them on MDF and whatnot, and it's coming out beautifully. I mean, installed on your drop pod because you want those micro beads. Yeah, I understand you want to put extra rivets on there. Yeah, print finished. So as soon as the night's over, get to go deal with that. And that is the other thing to think about with a printer my size. I don't have a big printer. I have a small printer. I mean, my print screen's about the size of a cell phone. I can't print the big stuff. I actually saw somebody did a riff or what they call a remix of a Space Marine drop pod. That was gorgeous, but I can't print it because the doors are too big to print on my print bed. The problem is my print bed's so small and it can only go so tall, is that to get a nice clean build, the doors fit, and I don't have to let me do that. So is what it is. So and it's crazy. Some people who really went into high, you can tell when some people are really into specific pieces of history or older pieces with 40K. Because the amount of hello Al, the amount of older vehicle versions that are out there, out of print versions of older vehicles that are out there you can find models for are incredible. But yeah, like I said, it's very cool. And all my fiends, yeah, we're fiends. It's a lot of fun. That's one thing. It has in a lot of ways helped me keep my sanity in these times. So I've just been doing a lot of basing. My gosh, the amount of basing. I've got another stack of like 20 bases behind me. And thanks to my brother, I have a box of models, and half of them at least half of them I'm gonna be doing up in Classic. The Chaplain Redemptor. No, I do not have a Chaplain Redemptor. Send me a link to it on Discord. I'll take a look at it. And the funny thing is, sometimes there are some humorous takes on models as well. So, like there is a model that I want to get and paint up just for my son, because of his fixation with dabbing. And there's a Primaris Marine dabbing, and that's just hilarious. So. Chaplain and Victor. Nice. Interesting. No, I don't believe you did, Zane. Yeah, I thought this actually worked. We used this for our roundtable the other night, and I kind of like the angle it worked at. That we got a better look at the workspace. Um, oh, kind of ran out of gas here. We're so excited to get things going off today and get things going, and that's the thing. Not a lot of news going on, and the same old things on the table. You know, it's kind of like it's not as bad as Groundhog Day, but it's pretty close. And then you add the fact that we've had some Silent King. Oh, I'll tell you, the Silent King, man. If Plague Child wasn't a Necron player already, because we pretty much nobody plays the same duplicate armies in the house, man, I'd be all over Necrons right now. I'm actually really hyped for that. They were looking to be my next army, but then Plague Child wanted to do them, so all theirs. But man, that's something to get excited about. That is something big excitement. I know you can't wait to the 23rd. Imagine between you and Nick, you're both kind of pins and needles until then. But yeah, I mean, I got some other terrain that I'm working on. They got these orc terrain that I want to get finished up. And then I actually have some medieval fantasy type terrain that I want to knock out for you guys. Some Nordic houses and long houses. Some inspired by Skyrim type looking places. So I got some stuff. I got some stuff on the cusp of being put together. So been drawing up plans for that. Plus, I still got to get back to my Imperial base and get that gate done. That gate is giving me troubles trying to get a working thing together. I don't know if you guys know this, but when I do these tutorials and I do my terrain, I work out the numbers ahead of time, and I do like a test bed before I do the actual one. I've actually got a number of test pieces of terrain that I tried something out with or tried a new technique with and decided it wasn't good enough to do a tutorial on. So I've got a lot of hunks of terrain that are, one-offs that look like they should be part of a set, but they're just a one-off piece. So, all right. Thank you, Zane. We might actually. I'm feeling kind of run down, kind of tired myself. I don't know. Some people do know. We lost one of our cats a few days ago, and he was 13 years old. So Shan's had him since he was palm-sized kitty, and I mean he's been living with us for 8 years now. And it's been kind of tough. You know, he's a good kitty. And I think it's kind of hitting her a little hard. And I'll be honest, it gets me at times. Yeah, it's been a tough few days. Um, yeah, you know, maybe you know that might be something to put together. Is taking a look at these terrain pieces and why they didn't work. In the case of the ones I'm thinking of off the top of my head, they didn't work because of the complexity. You know, the idea of trying to make a simple piece of terrain, because terrain should be simple and easy to make, and still look good. And I made a couple look good, but they were far more complicated, far more complicated than it should have to take it. I mean, let me grab. I'll grab one. I'll show you what I mean. So I was working on a piece of terrain where I wanted to build some simple ruins. And I was working off, I wanted to look like, you know, a brick themed simple ruins. And these ended up being, I didn't like the way they looked in the end. I was trying for a kind of a look and I got it kind of there, but it didn't come out exactly what I want. I got the texture I want, but it just, in the end, it didn't look exactly the way I wanted. So I got as far as the overcoating it with the Mod Podge over the foam, and I'm just kind of like, it's a good piece of terrain. Don't get me wrong. It's a very functional, very nice, very solid piece of terrain. If I were to finish it, it would look really great on a board. But it's not. It wasn't working for the concept of what I was trying to work on. Because the idea was I was trying to create some modular terrain for Warcry and Kill Team. And these pieces I actually created when I ended up with after all was said and done, I came up with the Savage set, which you guys saw, which were all made of wood. And those ended up coming out great. So I did that build first. And then I did a second build using similar techniques, but trying a little bit more open. So I have like some windows with bars through them, and then they have doors. So they'd be, again, it's similar build, similar idea, but with some different design concepts. A little bit more ruination on the edges, but the ability to pass through pieces, or I could use pieces to block them. And again, they look good. I mean, these would look good on a table. But the steps I had to go through to build these, just to build these, was really long, honestly. Even though the build time wasn't actually that long, explaining them properly would take a while. And the bigger problem with as great as these are, and they are solid pieces. The biggest problem is that to get these to look like this would require the person building them to have a prox on. And I try not to have too many of my videos require you having, you know, a $150 piece of equipment. You know, so it was like, well, if I want to do foam brick ruins, how can I do them so that the proxon can do them, but if someone doesn't have a proxon, they can still work out? And what it came down to was, if you're cutting them, you don't want to be cutting individual bricks. And if you're cutting individual bricks with a knife, you're going to have a hard time making them uniform, and you're going to have a hard time making them even, and you're going to run into a lot of problems that direction. And it's easier to use solid walls and then draw in a brick pattern on them. So, and that's what I've got coming down the line. I do eventually want to do a medieval styled ruins that would be appropriate for like uh, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Lord of the Rings, fantasy battles, a fantasy looking type um, castle ruins type setting. And so I'm going to be working on that one. I just realized that build that just wasn't the build I was going for. So I mean, I'll finish them up at some point. Probably give them away. That's my thought. So finish them up and give them away. As a one of a kind terrain piece that made by me. So that's pretty cool. They don't fit the Gothic look, and one of the other things is that I'm not trying to buy much terrain right now because I've got a huge chunk of terrain. A brick roller. Yeah, I've been seeing some STLs of brick rollers, and I've been thinking about that. Unfortunately, they will work if you print them in resin, but resin's a little more fragile, so you really want to print those on an FDM printer. Because if you want to really, if you're going to use them on foam, you want them printed on in FDM. If you're just going to be using them on green stuff or on milliput, then printing them on resin's okay, but you have to be a little bit more gentle with them. And it's not that resin is super fragile, but resin will, if you put too much pressure on resin, it will crack, it will break. It's not as tough as, say, an FDM printer is. And that was honestly a consideration. We're hoping that, say, this time next year, if everything goes right, we might at that point look at getting a second printer and get an FDM printer for those kind of things. Probably get like an Ender 3 or get a CR10 or a CR15. Something more of a workhorse with a good reputation behind it. The prices are always going down. That's the other thing to realize about printers, is that the prices are always going down. The Elegoo Mars a year ago was going for $350, and that was considered to be, oh, that's so low priced, and now a year later that's going for $100 less. Those bottles of photo resin, 1,000 milliliters, was going for $50 or $60 a year, 2 years ago, and now they're down to $30 for a 1,000 milliliter bottle. So as the technology gets out there, the technology gets more into the public view and more openly available and more openly used, you're going to see these prices continue to go down. It's the same thing happened with CDs. The same thing happened with DVDs. The same thing happened with VHS. The same thing happened with every other technology. It starts off at a high end, and as it gets more into the consumer hands, the technology gets better and the price goes down. I mean, I remember like the first CD burners that you could actually buy were super slow and super expensive. And nowadays, almost every CD that comes in a computer is a CD burner. No, not Laserdisc, because people realized that Laserdisc was going nowhere. So, as beautiful picture, but it's not going anywhere. Plague Child. Hi. So the Plague Child is back from quarantine. So I think with that, we're gonna cut off a few minutes early tonight. I appreciate everyone for coming in. I want to quick give a shout out to all of my lovely Patreons. We have our Battle Brother Lover Patreon. We have Inquisitor Zane and Mini War Mutt. We have our battle leader levels. We have Heinrich Botha and Joe Bookish. And then we have our 3 warlord levels. We have James Meeks, the ultimate Smash Captain. We have my brother, Master Modeler, Alex Drake. And we have my buddy, coming in from high orbit, and the Phalanx, the Commodore. We also have all you lovely subscribers, you people who got me to 500, which is why we did that giveaway. Thank you so much. I'll be reaching out to people on Facebook and whatnot to get that information so we can get that stuff shipped out. Thank you so much for being with us again. Again, we try to do this every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9 Central. We also try to do at least one other video during the weekend or late in the week, either a F It Will Do It Live or a tutorial video. Appreciate all of you. If you're still here, go ahead and hit that like button. That just lets YouTube know that I am doing a good job and making you guys entertained, and I appreciate that so much. It helps people get more people here to see the joy I'm here to bring. I've got an Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. So much love to all of you, and remember, epic your board, epic your game, and epic your life. I'm Big D, the Game Trap Dragon, reminding you all, game on.